Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something incredibly moving. It's a short piece of writing called When There Is Nothing to Look Forward to. And honestly, it really gets to the absolute core of what it means to be human. We're going to unpack an account of a recent visit to an old age home. So let's just jump right in because this might completely shift how you think about care, emotion, and what we actually need to feel alive.
Okay, let's dive straight into this. Right off the bat, the author hits us with a visual that is it's gut-wrenching. They walk into the facility and immediately they write, "I could not do away with the emptiness in their eyes." Emptiness. That word is doing a ton of heavy lifting right there. The author isn't seeing sadness, and they definitely aren't seeing joy. They're just seeing a void, a complete blank. And it sets up this really profound mystery for us today. What actually causes a human being's eyes to just go completely blank? Section 1. Mixed Feelings. An Old Age Home Visit. To figure out where this emptiness comes from, we really have to look at the physical setup of this place. And here's the wild paradox. On paper, this facility was fantastic. The meals served right on time. Nurses were always around. You had attendants available for literally any physical task. Totally medically supported. And it wasn't some cold clinical place either. The source specifically describes the staff as incredibly cordial and genuinely willing to help. Basically, if you were ticking boxes for human survival, this place gets 100%. Every single physical need was completely covered. So the crucial point here is, despite that perfect checklist, the author makes this devastating observation. Quote, "But it seemed as if nothing mattered anymore." And this right here is the pivot of the whole story. We have to draw a hard line between physical care and emotional presence. The author is standing in a room full of people whose bodies are being perfectly looked after, but whose spirits, they're just entirely gone. It really makes you stop and ask, is keeping someone safe and fed actually enough?
Section 2. Pain versus total apathy, comparing experiences.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core of the author's argument. Think about elderly folks who are sadly neglected in their own homes, taken for granted. You would think that's the absolute worst-case scenario, right? But the author points out something super vital. Those neglected individuals, they still had emotion in their eyes. They looked hurt, they wanted relief, they craved dignity. Basically, they were still actively looking forward to someone coming through the door to help them. But then, look at the elderly in this perfectly staffed facility. Their eyes were asking for nothing, demanding nothing, feeling nothing. It's like feeling pain, feeling angry, those are actually signs of life. It means you still expect things to get better. The total apathy in this facility, that's not peace. It's the total absence of human drive.
Moving on to Section 3. When Nothing Matters Anymore, the Physical Reality.
The author gives us this vivid sensory map of what profound numbness actually feels like in our room. They write, "The silence was deafening." I want you to just let that land for a second. Think about how incredibly loud emptiness can actually be when you have a whole room packed with living, breathing people and the overwhelming feeling is just this heavy, absolute silence. Wow. It's not a relaxing, peaceful quiet. It's a suffocating silence that comes from a total lack of emotional connection to the world around them. So how does this apathy actually play out day to day? Well, the symptoms are pretty striking. The residents were just silent, sitting in their rooms, out on the balconies, just quiet. They didn't feel loved, but they didn't feel hated either. They just felt like they didn't matter. And they weren't even sad, because sadness is an emotion, right? They had literally no feelings left. The author even noted that they didn't care if their food tasted good or bad. It just didn't matter. But here's the wildest part to me. They played a movie in the amphitheater and it got zero reaction. And worse, nobody even remembered any part of it later. It's like without an emotional anchor, without a reason to care, even short-term memory just stops recording. It totally strips all meaning from daily life. Section 4. The Death of Hope. A Philosophical Climax. Confronted with this massive wall of apathy, the author asks a question that I really want to put directly to you right now. What can be done to make them feel alive? Seriously, how do we fix this? The author realizes that these residents need to be made to look forward to something. Anything, really. A visitor coming by, a special event, a tiny change in routine. Because when you strip away anticipation, you basically strip away human consciousness. It's not just about a heart beating in a chest, It's about a mind actually reaching into tomorrow. And that brings us to the most profound realization of this entire piece. Just listen to this quote. "For once I've realized that having nothing to look forward to was the worst possible thing, one where even hope leaves and presence is irrelevant."
This right here is exactly what I want you to take away from this explainer today. All that physical care, the nurses, the perfectly timed meals, that only sustains presence. But as the author says, presence is completely irrelevant if hope has left the building. Anticipating something, actually looking forward to the future, is a universal requirement for feeling human. It is quite literally what separates just existing from actually living. So, as you wrap up your day today, I'm going to leave you with this one thought. What are you looking forward to tomorrow? And who in your life might need a little help finding something to look forward to themselves? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep asking those big questions.